What is up, YouTube? I'm DAG and this is my art channel, these four walls here. Really appreciate you guys giving me a watch here. And for you guys this week, I have a special fantastical drawing of the Goddess Morrigan. So she is a Celtic figure and known as the Goddess of War and Fate, also known as the Phantom Queen. So pretty exciting topic. I love fantasy things, and this week I am using the airbrush tool specifically here on Procreate and some others, of course, but mostly that, as you guys have seen in some of my other videos. And I will be going through each stage of my process here, kind of labeling those out for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the time lapse.
Alright, so as we begin this time lapse, I'd like to start off by labeling this part of the drawing stage 1, or the sketching part of the drawing. So for stage 1 here, I am drawing in a kind of a light green pencil that's on Procreate here, and I'm doing this just to map out everything I want for the next stages, which involves refining and making things look professional-ish. Well, my version of professional. But as you guys can see here, I used a reference photo for this lady here and kind of made it my own with the body and whatnot, trying to give her a stance that looks normal. But I've been struggling a lot with anatomy, but at the end of this, I think it comes out okay. And I don't even keep the legs here, but that's why this is its own drawing, basically. And for what it is, I think it came out really cool and has its own little vibe here. And I'm kind of adding a crow here. I guess that would be a raven, actually. I'm adding a raven here. And now I'm starting into stage 2. So stage 1 is over. It went really quick. Now stage 2, I'm locking in color on top of and somewhat underneath of where I drew the skeleton of what I'm doing for this lady here. Now I'm focusing in on the face, because I always like to focus in on the face first, try to get a level of refinement that I'm going to carry over to the rest of the drawing. And now we are just coloring away, changing the background color. Now I'm going back into the drawing, fixing some stuff, changing her arm up a bit, adding this cool staff, because I didn't quite like the fire in her hand, because it looked like it would catch her hair on fire. And now it's back into stage 2, so I jumped back and forth a little bit. I changed her where her head is, because it looked like it was, her neck was like too long. And quickly here I'm jumping into this raven as it's leaving her hand. And this part was probably the most fun part, because it sometimes in art things just happen very naturally and happen quickly. And for this drawing specifically, this raven kind of just happened in a flash and kind of developed easily for me. But yeah, this drawing here specifically is of the Goddess Morrigan, who is special to one of my co-workers, Jennifer. And so she asked me draw this for her, because I always ask everybody for inspiration for drawings. So if you guys have any, let me know in the comments below, because I always like to have a list of things to draw. Keeps me busy, keeps me going on this channel. So throw me a comment below for any inspiration. And now I've finished up the raven here. I'm going to be jumping into some of her body stuff again. I'm not really liking everything with her hair. I don't like how it's going over the top of her body. And so I'm going to change that up real quick here, as I added sleeves to her arms, kind of changed her outfit a bit. And then after that, it's just really, you guys can see it's little touch-ups here and there, little touch-ups on the skin, on the shirt, on the cape, color changing, lights and shadows, where do I want everything to be placed. And yeah, it's kind of just its own little journey here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the face, which gave me a lot of trouble with for some reason Procreate was struggling a little bit with blending these skin tones together. And in the end here, I think her face turned out a little bit pale, but I don't mind it too much. I think it was successful. And here's what I was talking about with the neck. I have to get rid of that hair because it looked weird flowing in front of everything. And I give her a little cute little necklace there. But yeah, here I'm gonna fix the hand up, and soon here we are gonna get to my favorite part, which is the staff. And I like how much detail I put into that as well. But first I gotta get these little hairs done, finish up with all the little details on her hair. Cool thing about this is that the Goddess Morrigan, or Morgana, I've heard it as another name, is Celtic. So if you guys want to check her out, it's a cool Celtic stories and such. And that's kind of what was my inspiration for the staff, is Celtic knots, kind of giving it that vibe in the staff, doing the little crystals on top, reminded me a little bit of like Gandalf or something like that. But yeah, she turns out to be pretty cool here, and I really enjoyed the detail work in the staff. As I said before, it was an interesting process, as I have to go in through the whole thing a few times. The first layer just mapping out everything, the second layer putting some highlights, and then by the end of this there's a third layer of the shadow parts, and that really makes everything look not like realistic exactly, but look like it's real in the drawing. But now got the staff pretty much where I want it, and I'm gonna fix up her hand, and that's basically all this is. All you guys are watching is, like I said at the start, is I do her face and I bring that up to the level of refinement I want. And I'd say that's probably stage 3, is the refinement. I bring everything up to the same refinement that I want for that. And that's kind of it. What you guys see here is what is the level of refinement that I wanted this at. Now we are in stage 4, which is just messing with the background, trying to do something cool with it, bring it all together. As you guys can see, I tried different things, about 30 different things before I finally get to something I actually like. Trying to use those colors that are Celtic-y, I don't know if that's a word, but Celtic-ish. And now we're finally getting to the product here, which is these fancy lines, a little bit of smoke, and yeah, I think this came out really well. It's also important to figure out what kind of colors you want for the background. I chose this kind of a purplish, and now made her coming out of the dark, added that little circle of light on top of her staff there, and yeah, that's it. Kind of a fun drawing for me to do, work with a character study, and I don't think it's my favorite one ever, but overall I think it was successful for what I wanted to do, and I look forward to doing more stuff like that. in the future. So now we are headed to the end. Bye.
Alright guys, that is it from me this week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this all the way through, getting to the end. Leave me a comment below. Tell me how I did this week. If you have any suggestions going forward, feel free to comment those as well. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and yeah, have a great week guys. Thank you.